Hi Cricut friends, Diane Bruder here, and today I want to talk to you about using cork material to make earrings in your Cricut Maker. So I'm really excited because I found a really great shop on Etsy. Now there are a lot of shops that sell cork, but I really like, and I'm going to promote this not because I know anybody or anything, but because I really like the shop, Beans and Peanuts. And the reason I like that place for buying cork is because they tell you in the description or right in the title how many millimeters thick the material is. Now you can cut up to 1 millimeter thick with a fine point blade. And she has a ton of different materials in cork that are under 1 millimeter. So that's what I'm really excited about because there's a ton of patterns and Explore users can use it as well as Maker users. So let me show you some of the things that I have made using cork, and I'll turn you on to a couple of different cork materials that I like and why I like them. First of all, these wonderful little earrings, see them? And again, this is cork material. It is a really nice pattern, kind of little Indian pattern, and I like it because it's got that earthy tone thing, and you can get these beads, these wooden beads at Michael's. You can get a whole tub of them for, I don't know, $8, $9, and I've had them for years and I've really not gone through them all already. So this is one example of something I've done. Now you can take these and cut these out and double them up so you don't see the back of the cork, because the back of the cork looks very much like material. Okay, and if you don't like that look, double them up. If you have a maker, look at this. You can take the earring. I'm going to show you the back here. This is wood, and I use basswood. 1/16 inch is nice. You can use balsa wood too, although it cracks and crumbles a lot more. I like this. Now I bought 3 30-seconds. And I was able to cut it, but that's not recommended for it. And the only reason I did that is because I was too lazy to go back to Joann's because it's in a different town. I had to put it on 1/16 inch and I had to run it through like 20 times and still didn't cut through, and then I had to use my knife. So yes, I had to use my knife to cut the rest of it out. You don't want to do that. That's really, because then you have to sand like crazy if you splinter it. You can always cover the splintered side with the cork. So, I mean, if you do, and you know, if you do use cork with wood, use wood glue. All right, it's Aleen's, A-L-E-E-N-S, makes a wood glue, and it's quick drying and it works really well, adhering anything you really want to wood, whether it's a felty material or cork material. Now let me show you some other cork materials that I bought. If you like a plain sort of cork, this is a really nice one. You can also try something like patterns. Look how cool that is. Now that would look really nice if you had Cricut file leather in that really pretty green color to go with the leaves here. That'd be a really nice thing to do. You can buy plain colors. All of these cut with a fine point blade, folks. I think this one is 6.6 millimeters. This one cuts just like Cricut file leather. I'm not sure of the millimeters, but I'm telling you, these are the ones that I cut with a fine point blade. I love this one. It's got like a variegated golden green in it. You can use that too. You don't have to have a maker. You can use it with Explore Air. Yay! Patterns! And like I said, I love to combine them with Cricut file leather or file suede. You get really cool stuff. Let me see here. Oh, they have this pattern too. I love leopard skin. So again, look at the back. I use more pressure on this, even though I cut it with a fine point blade, and you can do that. I don't like using the deep point blade. I find it like tears. I like these kind of things that you can cut with a fine point blade because you can get more details. And when I'm cutting these out, I don't like to cut the holes with my machine. You can use your weeding tool and just poke through it. Pokes through very easily. If you're using wood, once you glue this to the wood, you can drill, get a small, really fine drill bit, put in your drill and just drill a hole where you want it and line the other one up underneath it and drill through that too so that they hang the same way. Oh, look at this pattern. I love this. Love, love, love. It's got all these little flowers. Again, here's that one fun pattern that I showed you earlier that has all the different designs. I love her stuff. And she just came out with jelly materials. So I'm telling you what, that is going to be the next thing that I'm going to cut with my machine. I'm going to experiment and let you know what settings you can use, etc. So let me show you some things that I made with cork. Here's a pair of earrings. And I just use beads with those. Look how cool this is. Again, I used beads. There's the back. I did this with wood. And I stained the wood, by the way. You can do that. Wear gloves, though, when you stain because it's messy. Now, those of you who have an Explore, you're going, I really want to use wood with cork, but what can I do? You can do a lot of really cool things. You can't cut wood, but you can buy wood already cut. This is balsa wood. It's a nice thick balsa wood. You can get them in squares, you can get them in circles, you can get them in heart shapes. And the place that I got them was Michael's. And they come in a bag. I'm going to show you here. Look how many you get in a bag. 130. This is the circles. Now let me show you. You get different sizes. It's not just all one size. So you can get a big size. You can get a medium size. Look at, you can put these together for earrings. You can dangle them. If you want to make little posts for your ears, look at this. Look at, wouldn't that make a cool post earring? And you just glue posts to the back with the wood glue. You can paint this if you have embossing powder. Like I like to paint things black or white. And if I have embossing powder, it's something that you use with a heat-activated glue. You paint it, then you put the heat-activated glue on it once the paint is dry. And then you take your heat gun, you heat it up, and then you just dip it in the powder. And then you heat it up again, and you get some really cool things. Let me show you something I did. This right here. This is embossing. And I wouldn't do it on cork, but I did it on wood. So if you like the look of that, go to Michael's. It's called Lowell and Cornell Simply Art. You're not going to find it in the wood section. Go back where the kids section is, where they have all the foam and all that kind of stuff. That's where you get it. This bag of 130 cost me $4. That's a pretty good deal when you think about all the earrings you can make with this, okay? And this is made for kids stuff, but you know, once you sand it and you paint it or you stain it and then you put some varnish on it, depending on the stain that you use, it can look oak, it can look pine, it can look, you know, whatever you want it, mahogany look. It just depends on what you choose to do with it, okay? So, that's something to think about if you have an Explore and you want to explore cork, but you're like, oh, I really wish I could use, you know, wood too. You can buy it already cut. And sometimes I like to do that too, even though I have a maker, because sometimes I'm lazy. So, yeah. So some other things that I made, and I don't remember where I got these, but I didn't cut these out. These are like little cubes. And you can kind of take a look at those. Let me hold them up so you can see them. This is in, and you can combine different shapes. Look at those. Those are interesting. It's basically a half circle. And then it's got, this was done with a triangle. I'm going to show you how to do this in Design Space. How you can not just use shapes, but how you can manipulate them to make different shapes just out of your basic geometric shapes. Here's the same earring in dark colors, and I like this because I like this woody kind of cork look. But I like geometric shapes sometimes with just simple colors like black and red. I might make one with black here and then maybe white here and then red here. You can do whatever you want. And this is just a faux suede. She sells that too at beans and peanuts. I'm telling you, beans and peanuts got some really good stuff. And there are other places too, and I'm sure many of you found other places too, but that's just the place I like to go because consistently I can cut her materials and I really, really like them a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop right now and I'm going to take us to the screen. I'm going to show you how to make some things in Design Space, how to manipulate some of the different geometric shapes and create Design Space. And what we're going to do is we're going to create shapes with the shape tool. Choose triangle. And what we're going to do is we're going to manipulate this triangle so it doesn't have the point on the top. And how we do that is we come to shapes again and we choose square. And now we put the square over the top. Maybe we want just a little bit. Let's go here. So we just want this part of the triangle. Select all. Slice, and let's just remove what we don't want anymore. Bang, there you go. Now you've got a different shape. And so you say, what do we do with this? Well, let's unlock that. And to create the earrings that I showed earlier, that were kind of long bar earrings, we're going to create a space here, a size of 0.833, and then we're going to make it 2.5 tall, 2.5, bang. And that created those wonderful little earrings that I showed you that had the Indian pattern on it. That's the size for those earrings. So they're going to hang about 2.5 inches. You put a couple beads, maybe 3 inches total, but that's what we're looking for. Now, you're probably going to want to create more than one, so let's just go ahead while it's selected and hit duplicate. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I'm going to make it 6, so we have even 6. So what I'm going to do, my screen moved on me, is I'm going to come over here and go here, and then the next one I'm going to move over here, and I'm going to flip it vertically. Now I can move it closer, bring the next one up. See how I'm saving space on my screen? Oops. Click this one, bring it up, flip it vertically, move it closer, bring this one up, this one, flip it, vertical, move it closer. All right. Now I can group these all together if I want to create another row of those. Hit group. And now let's highlight it, hit duplicate. And we put these down here. Now, if I want this screen to look the same as when I go to make it, I have to select all and I have to hit attach. If I don't, these are just it's going to put them randomly however it wants it to cut it on the mat. So let's go to make it and see if that worked right. Bingo, there it is. Now to cut cork, you're going to come down here to continue. And what we're going to do, we're going to browse materials. And most of your cork can be cut in a foul leather setting. And we're choosing paper thin because that's Cricut brand. You know by the C here. Hit done. And it's going to ask for a fine point blade. Now, if I had words and I was doing iron on, this would have to be, I would have to turn it, you know. They always tell you to go ahead and mirror it because they want you to put things face down. And if you're cutting out words, you're going to have to mirror it. But since we're just cutting out a shape that's the same no matter how you turn it, we're not going to mirror it, okay? So you can see we're going to use a fine point blade. Now, you can choose default or you can set it on more pressure. If you have a really soft backing, not felt, but like a paper type backing, leave it on default and it'll cut just fine. If you have canvas, you can set it to more, or what I like to do is I like to just leave it in default and maybe hit it twice to cut. But like I said, you're going to use a green mat for this and you're going to cut it face down using a fine point blade. Okay. I hope you found today's lesson educational and inspiring, and that you'll go out and try some cork material. It's really fun to use, it's easy to use, it cuts nicely, and as you can see, it looks kind of cool on earrings. Whether you choose to pair it with Cricut faux leather, suede, or you use it by itself, it's a great material. And if you choose to use it with wood, you can cut any shape you want. I've shown you how to do that in Design Space Makers. And if you don't have a maker, you still can go get some shapes from Michael's. There's 130 to a pack, remember? And have some fun, whether it be circles, squares, or hearts. Just go out and have some fun and be creative. Bye, friends.